Hi, in today's webinar, we're going to be talking about constructing Facebook ads and really going over the basics of what you need to do to create a good Facebook ad. So let's get started by doing a little refresher on Facebook. Here's a Facebook page, and you'll remember that there are two kinds of ads. One kind of ad is what we call the normal Facebook ad, and those are the ones that appear here over on the right-hand side of the page. There's two of them each time on the page, and they'll refresh once in a while. And then the second type is what are called dark posts, and those are the ones that appear in the Facebook post wall, and they look like a normal post, but they're actually, you can tell by the word sponsored, and you can see it right here, okay, right there, that's actually an ad. Now, the kind of ads we're going to be talking about are really focusing on the ones here that are on the side of the page, on the right-hand column. Okay? So let's go ahead and talk a little bit now about how you would go about creating that type of ad. The first thing that's really important to remember that we talked about in the last webinar is that it's very important that you identify your target market. You may be interested in talking to single moms. You may be interested in talking to retired military people. You may be interested in talking to, the people that really you can relate to. And the important thing that's really, really important to remember here is that you become a reflection of your target market. The chances are that if you pick a target market that you think you can relate well to, they're going to like things that you like, and you're going to like things that they like. So when it comes to placing your ad, if the ad appeals to you, it's very likely that it's going to appeal to them as well. You don't have to really stress over creating the perfect ad. And if you look at Facebook, make a habit to go in and look at the Facebook ads, and you'll see that the ads that are there are really not that fantastic, okay? But they do give results. They give great results. Okay, so remember, don't stress it. If it appeals to you, it's going to probably appeal to your target market. But here's the thing, you never know about any ad, whether it's going to work or not, until you actually place it and run it in Facebook for a while and test it and see how it's working. So just assume that that's going to be part of what you do. Okay, that's a basic part of what you do. And we're not going to go over that, how to do that in this video. And this webinar, but actually you'll be able to do that yourself with no problem. We'll show you how to do it in a future webinar. So the first thing that we want to do is to talk about image basics. This is true of any image, whether it's on Facebook or anywhere else. And the thing that you need to know about is what's called the aspect ratio. And that's the ratio of the width to the height of the image. Now, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen that there are three ways of talking about that. One is to actually have a number that is the width divided by the height. Okay? And that's probably the least common way that you see it represented. More usually you see it the width and then a colon in the height, or the width and an X meaning by the height, so the width by the height. Okay, now why is the aspect ratio important? Well, as long as you keep the aspect ratio the same, you can make the image bigger or smaller and it'll look like the same image. If you don't keep it the same, then what's going to happen is something like this. Okay, the image will be distorted. So it's important to keep the aspect ratio the same unless you intentionally want to distort the image. So here, the width compared to the height went down. So it seems squeezed together. Okay, so that's the aspect ratio. Okay, now that's going to be important because in your Facebook ads, they ask for a certain aspect ratio, and we'll be talking about that in a second. The second concept that I want you to understand is what's called visual weight. And basically, that's where your eye goes on the page. So if we look at this Facebook page, where does our eye go? Where does it tend to gravitate to? And it actually does gravitate, in this case, to the yellow ad and the two blue ads that appear on the page. And that's what you want to happen. When you place an ad, you want eyes to go to your ad. Okay? And that's visual weight. Where does your eye go? Where is it drawn to on the page? Now let's look at some possibilities. Here's an ad. You can ask yourself, does your eye go to that point on the page? Does it draw you there? Well, in a sense it does. The black and white image kind of stands out with the red. Okay, now in this case I don't think that the ad draws as much as the blue ad, but one of the reasons, that's the blue ad with the funnel, one of the reasons is that you have the same ad appearing twice, so that just naturally makes your eye go there. Okay, but that black and white ad could very well work. Let's look at another alternative. What if we shade it to a kind of a reddish color, reddish brownish color? Is that more effective? Ask yourself. Okay, now let's try another thing here. Okay, there's an ad with fire appearing on it. Now, to me, that fire draws your eye more than anything else on the page. And remember that Facebook is always going to be graphics intensive. So what you want to do is when you create the image for your ad, you want to be sure that the image has visual weight, that it draws people's eyes there. And one of the best things that you can do is to use PowerPoint and Snagit to actually take your little image, grab a PowerPoint page, and put your image in there just like we did here in this demo. And we'll show you how to do that in just a second. Okay, now, when you measure an image, it can be measured in two ways. It can be measured in what are called pixels, and those are the little dots that appear on the screen. If you look very, very closely at an image, it consists of a lot of little dots. The screens have gotten so good that it's really hard to see them, so you might want to look at a newspaper and look at it closely, and you'll see that the image is actually represented by a bunch of dots. Those are pixels. The other way that you can talk about it is in inches. So it's so many inches by so many inches. The thing that's important to know is that more or less 100 pixels on a computer screen represents 1 inch. Now it's not exact, okay, but it's pretty darn close. So when you're forced to do things in terms of inches, you can say 100 pixels is 1 inch, and you'll see exactly how we apply that to Facebook in a minute. So let's talk about what the critical parts of a Facebook ad are. The most critical part is the image. We've talked about that. It's got to have the visual weight to draw people's eyes to your ad. Okay, so the whole purpose of the image, and that includes text that might be on the image, is to grab the viewer's attention. And you'll remember that the text can be no more than 20% of the image. Okay, in this case, Online Home Business Success meets that 20% requirement. So the first part of the ad is the image that draws the attention. Okay, then there are two more parts to the ad. One is the copy headline, okay, and the other one is the copy subheadline. And basically, within the copy headline and the subheadline, you've got to do two things. You've got to tell the person who's looking at the ad, they've already gotten there because of the picture, now they're reading the words, and you've got to tell them, first of all, what it is that you're going to give them or you're going to sell them, okay? And secondly, what does it do for them? What is the benefit of it? And we'll take a closer look at that as we get toward the end of this webinar. Okay, so what you want to do is be sure that in the text that you put there, in the copy, you tell the person what it is, okay, and what does it do. Now, already Online Home Business Success in the image tells them a lot about what it is, okay, and what it does for them. They're going to have Online Home Business Success, and the copy goes on to tell them more about that and get more specific. Okay, there's $5,000 of training and mentoring. They know that. They know that it's free, and the benefit that they're going to get, if you look closely, is that they're going to get financial freedom, okay, and real success. Okay, so that's all there is to a Facebook ad. Now, how do you go about creating that ad? Well, the first thing to know is that The size of the image that Facebook wants, not only recommends, but they really want you to have it this size, is 1200 by 628 pixels. And that's about the same as 12 by 6.28 inches. Okay? So, here's how you go about creating your Facebook image. We recommend that you use PowerPoint. And you set the page size in PowerPoint to 12 by 6.28 inches. So let's see how to do that. I'm going to bring up PowerPoint here. And this is a PowerPoint that actually has Facebook images on it. As a member of Wealth Builder Formula, you're going to get access to these, and you can use these images yourself if you'd like. But you'll notice that up at the top here, there's a place that says Design in the upper left-hand corner. Now, your version of PowerPoint may be a little different. This is PowerPoint 2007. A lot of people use this, so we're showing it on 2007. But you click on Design, okay, and then you go to the page Setup and click on that. And you'll see here that we're setting it to a custom size, and it's 12 inches by 6.28 inches. So you just set it there, and do that when you first create your PowerPoint presentation. If you do it later, your images will actually be distorted. The aspect ratio will change. And then click on OK. Okay, so that's all there is to setting the size. Okay, let's go back now to our presentation. Okay, and the next thing you do is to find the image that you like. Well, how do you do that? Okay, the best way to do that is to use Google. And we'll show you exactly how we're going to do that in just 1 second. The next thing you do is you place the image onto the PowerPoint slide. Now, you may need to stretch and crop the image in order to get it to fit on that slide. Because remember, the fact that you set up your PowerPoint to 12 by 6.28 inches means it's going to be exactly the right size. Okay, so you're going to need to adjust the image to fit on that page. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is to add text or any other image elements as you like. The next thing you're going to do is to save the entire PowerPoint presentation so that you'll have a copy of it and you can modify it and make additions to it. And then finally, you want to create the slide. Okay, and the way you do that is to save it as a JPEG image. Okay, so you save it as an image file, not as a PowerPoint, but as an image file, a JPEG image. And finally, you use Snagit to do any final resizing to make sure that you have exactly the right size, because 12 by 6.28 inches is not going to be perfect. Okay, so those are the steps that you go through. Let's move to the next slide, and it's going to tell you exactly how to find the image, and we're going to do that. Okay, so the first thing you do is to bring up Google Search in your web browser, and then you enter the keyword of interest. Now, we're going to enter network marketing. Okay, then set Google to display the images, then set it to display the images that are free, modifiable, and commercial. Then look over the images that are there and take the one that catches your eye the best, because that has visual weight. Okay, so trust your eye. Trust your eye. Okay, capture the one that looks the best. Okay, then the next thing you do is look to see if it's going to be about right size, and that's going to be twice as wide as it is tall. Okay? And then copy the image and paste it onto the PowerPoint slide. So let's go ahead and do all of those things. Okay, we're going to bring up our browser now. Okay, and we'll go in and we're going to enter network marketing here at the top. And the browser is going to automatically go to Google Search. Okay, now what you want to do is to set the image. Okay, make it display images. And up at the top here, you'll see that it says web, images, videos, and so forth. So click on images, and you'll get all the images now that it can display. The problem with these images is that some of them are not free. Some of them require you to pay for them. Some of them require royalties, and you want to stay away from that because you can get sued if you use an image that somebody else owns. So the way to fix that problem is to go over here on the right-hand side to the thing that looks a little bit like a gear, click on it, and then click on Advanced Search. Okay, and when you do, go to the bottom of the left-hand side where it says Not Filtered by License, okay, and pick the one that says Free to Use, Share, or Modify, even commercially. Okay, because that's going to filter the images so that you can have the ones that are free to use, and then click on Advanced Search. And you'll see that the images change, okay, to totally different kinds of images. Now, what you have to do then is find one that really catches your eye. Now, on this particular page, one that catches my eye is this one in the middle. Okay? It's the tree that has all the symbols related to the internet on it. Okay, so let's click on it. Take a closer look. Is this really what we want? Yeah, let's use it. Okay, so now what we do is we copy the image. Okay, so right click on it. This is on a PC. And say copy image. Now you have that image. Okay, now let's bring up our PowerPoint slides. Okay, we'll go down to the bottom. Okay, and we want to add a new image, so let's click on that image. We want to add a new image, so we go to Home, and then we say New Slide, and click on the one that's blank. Okay, and now we paste, which you can do with a Control-V on a PC. We paste that image into the slide. Now you can see that it's not the perfect size. Okay, so what we need to do is to stretch it out and make it fit. So the first thing that we want to do is get it to the right width. And to do that in PowerPoint, you grab the corner here, click on your mouse, and just drag it. Okay, now you'll notice that it actually became bigger than the PowerPoint slide. So it's really the wrong aspect ratio. You have two options. One is to cut the image off, and the second object is to change the aspect ratio to fit the PowerPoint slide. We're going to experiment with the second one. Okay, so what we do is grab this handle at the bottom, click and hold it, and pull it up. Okay, and that's not enough, so we'll pull it. We'll do that again. Okay, now we're seeing a little bit of white, so we want to pull it down until it fits the slide exactly. Okay, now the thing that we have to ask ourselves is that an acceptable image? Well, even though it's a distorted image compared to the original, it looks just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It still has the visual weight. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is to add any text that we want to add to that image. Now, one of the reasons that we like PowerPoint is that it's so easy to do that. Okay, and let's show you an example. Let's say we're going to add text to the bottom of the slide or to the top. We're going to click on this other slide. We're going to click on the bottom here where we have the text. Control-C to copy. Go back to the slide we just created. Control-V to paste it. And now you have it. Okay? And it looks like now that really doesn't look that good. So we're going to click on the image again, and we're going to shrink it up just a little bit more so it looks more like a tree. And that still looks good. It's starting to look a little weird, but it's still okay. Okay, and now you can go in and change the text. Okay, and we'll change it to make money. Let's do it all in caps. Make money on the internet. Whoops. Okay, so now we have the PowerPoint slide. Okay, we want to save that. So we're going to save the whole PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and we do that just by clicking on Save. And then you'll remember that we said that we wanted to save that slide as not as a PowerPoint, but as a JPEG image. Okay, and the way to do that is to click here and you Save As. The dialog box comes up, and the first thing that you want to do is to go in and pick what you want to save it as. And if you look down the list here, you have the JPEG file interchange format. So click on that. Okay, give it a name, and we'll call it the Internet Tree. Okay, and now you want to pick where you want to store it. Okay, so we're going to store it on the computer here in, go to the computer. We're going to store it on Drive F. Okay, and we're going to put it into what's called the temporary area. You can put it wherever you want. I'm just picking the temp area. Okay, and we say save it. The next thing PowerPoint does, it says, do you want every single slide saved or just this one? So we'll click on current slide. Okay, and now we've got the image saved. Okay, what we can do is we can go into Drive F now. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the computer display, go to Drive F, and look at the temp folder. Okay, and you'll see that there's our Internet Tree image right there. I'll click on that, and you'll be able to see it. Now, is that the perfect image? Probably not, okay? But it gives you the idea of exactly what you need to do to create the image. There's one more step that you need to do, okay? And remember, we said that it's not exactly 100 pixels equals 1 inch. So you need to take that image and convert it into the proper size, exactly the proper size. So to do that on a PC, you right-click, okay, and you say Open With, okay, and then open it with your Snagit editor. Now, if you have something other than Snagit, you'll have to adjust for that. But in Snagit, it's very, very easy. All you do is you click on Image, and then click on Resize, and resize the image, and it will tell you what the size is. And you'll see right here that it's not quite exact. Okay, it's not 1200 by 628. So what we're going to do is two things. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is change that to 1200. Okay, and you'll see that it changed it to 1200 by 602. Well, that's not quite right. So we're not going to lock the proportions here, and we'll change it to 628. Okay, and now we'll say OK. So now that image is exactly the right size for Facebook. And we're going to click on this thing that looks like a disk drive, which is Save. And now that is saved back onto the disk in Drive F, and it'll be wherever you save it on your computer, and we're ready to go. Okay, so we're totally ready with that image. That's all there is to creating a Facebook image. Okay, so I'm going to shut down now the Snagit editor. Okay, and let's go back to the presentation. Okay, so you'll see now that we did exactly through those steps. We brought up the Google search, we entered the keyword, internet marketing, we displayed images, we displayed the images that are free, we found the one that we liked that caught our eye. Okay, we saw that it more or less would fit, a 2x1. Okay, we copied the image and put it on the PowerPoint slide. Okay, and fit it to have the right size on PowerPoint. We decided that we could compress it and change the aspect ratio and it would still look okay. And then we'll go back one slide here. Okay, then we stretched and cropped the images necessary to make it fit on the slide. Okay, we grabbed the text off of another slide and put it on this slide, changed it finally make money on the internet. Okay, save the PowerPoint, save the JPEG image, and we use Snagit to do any final resizing. Okay, so that's exactly the steps that we went through. If you don't remember those, replay this webinar video, and you'll see that exactly how to do it. You can replay it 2 or 3 times, and you can practice while you actually watch it. Okay, so let's go on. Now, within using PowerPoint, the reason that we really like to use it is that it's very, very quick way to edit images. It's much faster than using things like Adobe Illustrator or Microsoft Paint or anything like that. Yes, you can definitely do it in those programs, but PowerPoint is just really, really fast. And I want to show you that there are 4 things that you can do that speed up creating an image. Okay, absolutely speed up creating an image. You can resize the image, and you saw us do that, but I'm going to show you more about that. You can recolor the image, change its colors. Okay, you can set the background to be transparent, and I'll explain what all of these do, and you can copy elements of other slides onto your current slide. So let's bring up our slide presentation again that has all of our Facebook slides. Okay, and we'll actually do that. Okay, the first thing that we want to do, we said that we could recolor the image. Well, that's pretty easy. Click on the image, okay, and you'll see how it highlights it by creating all these little handles on the side. Okay, then go up and click on Picture Tools at the top and onto Recolor. Now here's all the different recoloring that you can do. Well, let's just play around with it for a while. Okay, does it look better that way? No. How about that way? How about that way? How about that way? Okay, how about lighter shades? How about lighter shades? Okay, well, you can see here there are a lot of different options. Okay, you can also go in to get more options. You can just completely change it, and what it basically does is it tints it certain colors. Okay, as it turns out, the color one is obviously the most visually appealing and has the greatest visual weight. But you could easily change the image, no problem. Okay, now, for example, let's go on a different slide here, and we'll pick this image, and let's recolor it. Picture Tools, Recolor, and let's say that we're going to change it from that blue to maybe this color. Okay, and that could be a very much more powerful color. How about the red? That could be very much more powerful. So when you find the color that you want, you click on it, and now the slide is changed. If you want to change it back, you do an undo, and the keyboard trick for that is Control-Z, and it goes right back to the slide that it was before, the colors it was before. So let's go back to our original image. Okay, we said one thing is recoloring the slide. The second thing is copying elements that are on other slides. So we did that here at the bottom. Okay, you'll remember. And we can move that up. Okay, we can move it down. Easy. And we copied that from another slide. Let's do something more interesting, though. Okay, we're going to go up our list of slides. And it always works great to have a face, a person looking at you. That's one of the most powerful visual weight things that you can do. So we like this picture of this woman. Okay, and you'll see how it's highlighted. We'll copy it with a Control-C. We'll go down to the bottom slide that we just created. Okay, and we'll do a Control-V. And all of a sudden she's on that slide. Now, chances are that you want to resize it, make it a different size. So let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay? Gets your attention better. There's an obvious problem here that she's covering the graphic. So we'll click on the bar. Okay? And now think of there as being layers. So the woman now, because that was the last thing we put on the slide, is on the top layer. Okay? The thing we put on the slide before that is all the text. That's the second layer. And the bottom is the image, which is the third layer. So we want the text to become the top layer. So we click on that. Okay, go to Arrange here, and say bring to front, and now you've got make money on the internet. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that this woman kind of fits over the text that was there. Well, how did that happen? Okay, and that's called creating a transparent background. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the woman now, and we're going to put a different image. Now, this one actually doesn't work as well as the image, but you'll see how it's done. And we're going to pick this slide right here. Okay, so you'll see here that the image actually goes not quite all the way to the end of the slide, but that pointing finger can also be very dramatic. Okay, and so we're going to copy that image. Okay, go back to the slide. Okay, and paste it, and now you'll see that it's covering up our slide. So what we want to do is we would like all this white area to go away. To do that, you click on your picture tools, recolor, and see where it says set a transparent color. You click on that, and then you just click on the white area, and now it all goes away. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing that we did before. Okay, and bring the text to the front. Okay, and that's a possibility. Now, that really is not a very good image because of the way that it hides the background, but you've got the idea. It makes it transparent. One of the things that you want to do, you'll notice how it has kind of this white on the border. Okay, and to get rid of that, there's an easy thing you can do. Click on the image. Okay, click on Picture Tools. Go to Picture Effects and pick soft edges, okay, and then find one here that gets, now, okay, so 2.5 points gets rid of that white. Okay, that's all there is to it, to doing a transparent background. One of the things is that it gets rid of one color. So if you've got backgrounds with multiple colors and you want to just pick out a part of it, this isn't going to work. Okay, so, but there are tools that you can use, and there'll be more information about that later on. But this is to show you what can be done in PowerPoint. Okay, very, very easy. Very, very easy. So what we're going to do now, just to practice, we're going to get rid of this image that we just put on there, and we're going to put a different woman back on this here. So we're going to find the woman that we want, okay, and this is up at the top. Okay, and this is kind of a more interesting image because she'll be pointing at the tree. So we'll click on it. It's already had the background removed. Control C to copy it. We go back down to the original slide. Click on it. Paste it in with Control V. Okay, bring the text to the foreground. Bring to the front. Okay, and now maybe we want to move her a little bit over to the left. And up a little bit. Okay, and now she's pointing. Make money on the internet. That's actually a pretty terrific slide. That's going to work very, very good as an image. So now what we'll do is we're going to save it in the PowerPoint, clicking on the little thing that looks like a floppy disk, okay, and then remember we're going to do the save as, okay, we're going to save it as a JPEG image, okay, and we're going to call this Internet Tree with Woman. Okay, we'll click Save. It says, do you want to save everything or just the current slide? We'll say the current slide. And now that's saved on our disk. Okay, so it's ready to go to Facebook. Well, actually, you would take it through Snagit. Okay, and then it'll go to Facebook. Now, if you ever forget where it's saved to, okay, let's do it again, just for practice. Okay, save as. Save it as a JPEG file interchange format. Okay, we're going to call it Internet Tree, Internet Tree with woman. It's already there, so we can click on that. Okay, now let's put it in the same place we did before, which is on the computer, drive F, okay, the temporary drive, I'm sorry, the temporary folder, okay, and we'll say save, okay, save the current slide, okay, now you'll see there it is in the temporary folder, okay, open it with Snagit, okay, we're going to resize it, resize the image. Now I want you to look very carefully this time at the bottom here, and you'll see here where it says lock proportions. If that's clicked on, it's going to preserve the aspect ratio. Okay, so let's see what happens when we do that. Okay, we'll go 1200, and you see it's changing it to 627 automatically. You don't have to change it. Now the problem is that it needs to be 628. I promise you that nobody's going to notice a pixel. But to make sure that it's exactly right for Facebook, we'll turn off lock proportions, okay, and just change that to 628. Okay, and we'll say okay, and now it's ready to be saved, so we click on the thing that looks like a floppy disk. Okay, and now that's exactly ready to go to Facebook. Okay. So now you see how to work with images. It's really pretty easy. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. And now that we've talked about the images, and oh, by the way, before we do that, let me show you this file. We've kind of been looking at it, but let's look at it in a little bit more detail. You can download this PowerPoint presentation that contains Facebook images. Okay, and let's just go through some of them. Okay, you can use them for your own images. You can modify them, do whatever you want to do. And, okay, we'll go up to the beginning of it here. Okay, and okay, there's the first image. Okay, now to this you'd probably want to add some text. Okay, here's a second one that's kind of interesting. Okay, and this is an interesting image because it has what's called cognitive dissonance. And the dissonance here is that it's obviously a Buddhist monk, and yet he's dealing with money. So there's a little cognitive dissonance there. That means it catches your attention. So we're kind of making a play on that idea, and financial freedom, inner truth. You know, that'll get somebody's attention. They'll go, what is he talking about? Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, this one is a depiction of internet marketing in the background, a networking, okay, and the woman that's pointing to it, okay? And so what could we do there? Well, we might want to say, we could go to the previous slide, okay, grab this, okay, copy it with a Control-C, paste it with a Control-V, we'll move it down, okay, and now we could say like that, and we'll say internet marketing success. See how easy it is? It's just incredibly simple. Okay, let's go down to the next slide. Okay, the next slide is the one that has the fire on it that we talked about before, that's very, 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 very heavy visually weight. And this is a great slide. Okay, so again, here you might want to paste in a text thing, okay, and you might want to move it down. Okay, and you change it to whatever you want. Okay, this one might be hot leads on the internet. In fact, I think we might already have one that way. No, we don't. So let's change it. Okay, we'll say uh, highlight this text by triple clicking actually. Okay, hot leads on the internet. Okay, now you could decide maybe that it would look better. Let's, if this, instead of being black text, okay, because we're talking about hot leads, we can fill the shape with red. Okay, you can decide, hey, that looks pretty good. Hot leads on the internet. Well, would it look better if all the text was white? Okay, let's find out. So what we do is we highlight all the text. Okay, we go here to Drawing Tools, Text Fill, and we click on the white color. Okay, and then click off of it somewhere. Hot leads on the internet. That's pretty good. Okay, that would be a great image. You can see how easy this is. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is a slide, and we use this and we say, have you been failing at internet marketing? Okay, there we recolored it. Okay, here's another great slide. You obviously know that it's from the internet because it's got all these symbols for LinkedIn and Dig and Twitter. Okay, so there's another possibility. Okay, we can take and copy the element of our guy running out of the terminal, get hot leads from the internet. Okay, there's another possibility. Okay, here's one of the little guy running into a sales funnel. Okay, here's one in the fire where he's running into the sales funnel. Okay, this is a very successful format. It's, believe it or not, this has incredible visual weight. It's very, very successful. And we'll say, steal our success for yourself. Okay, we saw this before, online home business success. Okay, there it's recolored. There it's recolored again. Okay, here's another thing that's very eye-catching. You probably want to put something like, learn how to be successful on the internet. Okay, here's another great image. Finally, home business success. Everybody jumping for joy. That's one you may want to experiment with coloring with. Okay, again, a catchy image. And here we have changed the aspect ratio a little bit. How to finally smile again. You know, that will attract people's attention. Now there you have to rely on the copy to tell people what they're going to get and what benefit they're going to get. But how to finally smile again. Who wouldn't want to click on that? Okay, how to finally put a smile on your face is another variation. Okay, take the home business leap. A very compelling image there. Okay, finally home business success. Here's one where you can do what's called negative advertising. Okay, and that's to say, oh no, not another home business failure. And then underneath, that's going to attract attention. Okay, and then underneath you tell them how they're going to be successful. Okay, here's where we have taken that same woman. Okay, remember we've created a transparent background. Now this is an example. Let's go back and look at the one above that. You see how the pebbles in the background, this is an example of where PowerPoint will not successfully get rid of that background. Okay, but there is software that you can do that. And we'll have that identified underneath the text that goes into this video. Okay, there's a service that you can use. Okay, here's another one. Stand out from the crowd. Again, this is an image that would attract your attention. By the way, these all are free images. Okay, we got them off of Google, and they were listed as being free. Whenever you do that, it's really a good idea to double check and make sure that they really are. Okay, but these were all listed as being free images. Okay, here's another version of the image. And you'll see that what we did here is we created a transparent background, but we left the shadow to the left. Okay, and there we apply it to a colored background. Okay, here's another catchy image. Does that catch your eye? Of course it does. It's an eye. Here's another one, success. That might be enough by itself. Okay, 6-figure income stream. Okay, that's very, very, very appealing. Okay, here's that same thing on a different background. And here's that background recolored. This is a great image. It's very, very visually heavy, high visual weight. So you'd have to think of what you wanted to put on there, the text. This is another image that actually has a lot of visual weight to it. People will be attracted to it. And another. Okay, this is very interesting because it says your future holds success. Now that's a little bit small, probably to be read in Facebook. Okay, but it's interesting because people will want to read it and their eye will go to it and they'll try to read it. And what I would do is to say your future holds your success in the copy somewhere. Here's that same image with the woman superimposed on top of it. Okay, this is another image that will attract attention. Okay, a great idea for home business you might put on that. Here's another interesting image, very, very eye attracting. Okay, there's the image with a little character on top of it, how you can stand out from the crowd. Here's another one that's good for negative advertising. Are you bummed about MLM that didn't work, for example? Another image that's really interesting because of the clouds. This is a great image, okay? Let us spark your business genius, okay? Very, very, very eye-appealing, okay? Of course, we went through this one. This is also eye-appealing. This one, again, it will attract people's attention. Now, some people say this is too scary. That's fine. If you don't like it, don't use it. Okay? Remember, what appeals to you is likely to appeal to your target market. Okay? Time to hit a home run. Okay? You can change whatever the text is. That's up to you. Here's another great image for multi-level marketing. Now, this is a great one. What we're going to do here is I'll show you how to easily change something. So let's click on this image and copy it. Okay, and now we're going to go up to the beginning, and you'll remember we had the Oriental woman in front of the screen. There it is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get rid of that image that's in the back. Okay, I'm going to substitute this other network marketing image. Okay, we're going to have to shrink it down just a little bit to make sure that it's the right size. Okay, and that's about the right size. Now, obviously, we're going to have to bring the woman to the front. Okay, but let's do that in just a second. Before we do that, let's go to the picture tools. Okay, and say the picture border, we're going to make it black. Okay, and then we're going to go to the picture border again and change the weight. That's how thick it is. And make it look more like a bulletin board of some kind. Okay? And now we need to get this in back of her. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the woman. Okay? And with the hitting the shift key, we're going to click on the text and we're going to bring them both to the front. Okay, and so now we have a totally different image. Okay, and this actually might work better for network marketing. Okay, let's go back down to where we were. And there's the final image that we put onto the screen. Okay. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about marketing. We're done with the images. You've got all your images ready to go. Now, how do you decide what to put at the bottom of the screen? And for that, we're going to talk about bridge marketing. And the basic notion in bridge marketing is that you've got a product to sell, or you've got an action that you want your market to take. Usually it's going to be buying something. And after they buy it, okay, well, I'm sorry, in order to get, you've got a product that you want your market to buy, and you have to get them from where they are to your product. So you have to create a bridge for them that makes sense based on what they want and what they need. So the first thing you have to be really clear about is exactly who you're talking to. And we're going to use the example of a target market, which is stay-at-home moms. So once you figure out who you're talking to, then you've got to ask yourself, what do stay-at-home moms really want? Okay, and what they really, really want, their number one priority is to be at home with their children. And if they can make money doing that, that's a great thing. Okay, so the next thing you have to do is to say, what are you going to do to meet their specific want? So let's read this, okay? You want to create this. This is called an elevator speech. It's a short thing that tells people exactly what you do. So do this, okay? And we'll use this one. I help parents earn significant extra income using online marketing techniques so that they can spend more time with their kids without having to leave home for a job every day. Okay, very, very clear and precise. You're telling that they get to stay at home and they get to make money. Okay, now what you need to do is to convert that into a headline. Okay, and so here's a headline, and it tells them what they're going to get. Earn significant online income working at home while you spend more time with your kids. So it tells them exactly how they're going to get what you have to offer. Okay, that's the copy that you're going to use. So bridge marketing, you identify your target market, you identify what you've got to sell them, you identify how you help them meet what they really, really want, okay, and then you convert that into a headline. Okay, let's go back to the critical parts of a Facebook ad. We said that the purpose of the image was to capture the attention of the people that want a successful online business. Okay, that's very, very important. So we'll say that this image does it. We'll say this image does it. Okay, the second thing is the headline. Okay, you want to be sure that you tell them what they get. Well, here we're saying they get free $5,000 worth of training and mentoring. And from the image, they're going to know that that has to do with something about online home business success. Okay, and then you want to make sure that you meet their need. And so we're saying that for our market, okay, their main need is financial freedom and home business success. And so you'll see highlighted in red, finally get what you need to get financial freedom using the internet. That's what they get. That's the benefit. And they get training, PDF coaching, templates, and everything else. That's specifically what they get in the training for real success. And that's their ultimate goal. Okay? That's a Facebook ad. Okay? And that's all there is to creating it. And the trick is to go in, okay, look at your Facebook again. Let's bring up our browser. Okay, and we'll go to Facebook here. And just spend time looking at the ads. Okay, and you'll discover that the ads are actually not that terrific at all. Okay, and you can easily do just as good as anybody does on their ads. Okay, so what you need is a visually compelling image like this one. The red and yellow attracts your attention much more than the one above it. Okay, and then you need a great headline and a great sub-headline, and you can do that. Okay, fantastic. To wrap this up, okay, I want to tell you that you can go to facebook.com/help whenever you run into problems creating ads. And there you have all the information you'll ever need to know. And especially if you submit an ad and Facebook somehow says that they don't approve it. And that can happen. Okay, it shouldn't happen based on what we've talked about. But it can happen. Okay, and if it does happen, then you can go into the help area here and find out exactly what corrective measures you need to take. So with that, we've wrapped up the basics of how to do Facebook advertising, and in the next webinar, we're going to go into details in exactly what you need to do to place your Facebook ad. See you then.